and I'm also really good with like firefighters and ambulances and stuff like that because
exactly same thing. Preventative maintenance, preventative care, and also radical response to radical events.
Yeah. And I mean, I admittedly usually really like the way at least the police work up here in Canada, right? 90% of the time, the first thing that they're going to say is something along the lines of, now, you know, Timmy or whatever, would your mom really be okay with you doing that? Because they've walked this beat for long enough to actually know Timmy's mom, right? You know, and they're big on community policing, at least now, where we should know the cop that patrols our neighborhood. They're big because they introduce themselves, because they want to, you know, they want to make sure that you know them, so that you can judge their character and be able to say, hey, you know what, this guy is a good guy. If he's arresting whoever, there had to be a really damn good reason.
Every book I've ever read on War and Peace, not War and Peace because I haven't read War and Peace, but like the books that talk about how to just in general depreciate hostility and remove hostility from the community is legitimate, like presence and activity. So like if you're the same 10 cops that show up to a bank robber as the same 10 cops that show up to the school to pitch being a cop to kids, everybody's going to grow up getting to know you better and going, yeah, I saw him get really tense when that other guy was yelling at him, but I also saw him give that kid a lollipop when that kid was yelling at him. Because it's like, if cops demonstrate that they can also be kind and comforting, people go, oh, maybe that guy was an asshole and he deserved it. But like if cops are always only deployed, only active when they're active, then yeah, everybody's going to think, oh, great, here come the Terminators, here come the Spartans. Like, I don't have any relationship with that thing because he's acting like a thing. Name a cop that doesn't try to look bigger than he is or act bigger than he is. That's the beef, is like, we also need you to act like a cuddly teddy bear sometimes. And the more we see teddy bear, the more we go, oh yeah, when he tackled that other kid, it was probably for a good reason because we've seen him teddy bear most of the day. Like, you can give grace when you see grace. It's a lot harder to give grace. Brutality. I'm against police brutality because technically it's treason.
A closeted anarchist idiot.
It's an attack against an American citizen because innocent until proven guilty. Like, that's my that there is a scale. There's a REO rules of engagement, like sort of response, and I do believe in that as well. But like a lot of it is like you are hitting before you should, and that's a problem. And everybody in the military can agree because most of the videos you watch that are like, this looks like police brutality, like the ones that are, and the ones that aren't. And you can hear the people that like know what would have gotten them court-martialed go, oh yeah, no, that would have been fine. Nope, that would have gotten me court-martialed. Then you go, okay, that guy knows because he actually almost got court-martialed for going too far. And you're like, that's the number. To me, that's how I know that there is a number, and I know that cops are held to it things when you are held to it when you're combat sensitive. Apparently, only American 18 minutes. Surprising.
Hey everybody, smile towards your camera.
I'll take the one in February. Building them, they're so fun. Nothing my brain picked up.
Be more women watching our show anyway. Thank you. Share again.
Well, I sent in a bunch of different stuff over the last 2 weeks, right?
Oh, I guess we could dig in that vault from last week. Let's see what's in there. Sorry, we did this whole launch channel.
Yeah, no worries. So, there's the Star Wars: A New Hope is coming back to IMAX for its 50th anniversary. There's X-Files getting a reboot too. And the Writers Guild of America is opposing the merger for Skydance.
Oh.
So, some stuff.
This is remote control here on the facts. Should just grab that clip as our. Of course, they say that, and we're literally gonna open with a freaking Reddit rumor, like one of the most uncredible sources for rumors ever. But whatever, it's shit that I could clip later into a.
Torian was muted during that talk, so I think he did.
I also have another rumor that I've heard that I have no confirmation of as of yet. But if you guys want me to bring it out, I can.
We might as well, but we'll probably save it for the end if it's that much hype, because we're currently technically leaking audio. The default setting is to leave the audio leaking unless one of you asks for it. So remember, if you're talking about shit you don't want to go out over the stream, make sure you say so at least once. Otherwise, like I said, I'm pretending to not pretend to. We're leaking the audio. It's just fun. We're having fun. Shut up. I'm gonna go pour myself a glass of Penelope.
I will put a sneak peek image in the chat. In the private chat.
It's supposed to be. Yes, it's three cubes. I just realized with the timing, I've actually got to get ready to drive. Tonight, we're going to talk about all the latest and greatest drama of what's going on in Hollywood, who's winning money and who's losing money, as well as talk about Star Wars Visions Volume 1. All this right now on the Entertainment Information Sales Podcast. And welcome to tonight's Entertainment Information Intelligence Podcast. Holy crap, I actually might have gotten an intro on time with no errors, and it looked nice, and we are starting to look like a real show again. Thank you, Miss H. Marie, bringing me the Penelope bourbon. Cheers to Griffin DBK. Greetings, 'tis I, the former agent known as Douchebag Kylo. Congratulations on the rebrand and the name change. I commend you for taking that leap into trying something new, mainly because, well, we've kind of done something a little similar here. We started a gaming channel now. You guys can check our gaming content out at TWB Gaming. We'll be spamming that link all night long, of course, in the chat.
So, new name, same great content.
That's right. I mean, we'll still host, you know, like future. I do eventually want to have like video game reviews, kind of like how we do book reviews, because that was fun when I was looking back through some of our old archive, and like when we do those video game segments, and then sometimes play the game live on the show. That was the fun kind of stuff that makes this well, you know, fun. So
yeah, I'm game.
Yeah, definitely click on Griffin DBK. He's going to be doing a live stream on Thursday. Gonna be reviewing. Dang it! I just literally had that pulled up. Geez, Petey, have your freaking promos ready to go, idiot. Yeah, he's gonna be doing a conversation with director Rich Nathanson. So Thursday at 7 p.m. I'm going to get the link in the description below. Actually, I'm going to get the link right there on the channel. You can see me. I just pulled it up. And, oh, we lost the lovely H. Marie. Oh, well. We'll get her back soon. But, yes, here is the link for that. Because I'm cool like that. You can actually subscribe and be one of the first to watch the video when it goes live right now. Or he's going to be, posting that. So if you like what you see here, check him out too. Pretty much similar kind of vibe as far as honest content reviews. Doesn't hold back on things that he likes and doesn't like. I actually had the pleasure of reviewing Buckaroo Banzai with him. That was a lot of fun. So hopefully we can do more future reviews with him and maybe even have him on this show in the future. But first, let's go around the room. Corione, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been an interesting couple of weeks, and pulling myself together here for hopefully a pretty quality show, because I think we got a lot to cover today.
Yeah, absolutely. DBK says, thanks, wow, yes, a conversation with Rich Nathanson, writer-director of How Jessica Died, a film we're debuting next year. Oh, cool. That is, yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
That does interest me. So, yeah. Let's see. I was going somewhere. John, why don't you take over for a second while I figure out how to... Yeah. I was running a great show, and then I just ran into the dirt. Sorry, guys. I haven't even started drinking yet, and I've already just...
All
like
good, all
in
good.
2025.
Well, let me pull a Sully Sullivan and land this bird in a pond. I have been just vibing quite well. I don't know if you guys have been watching the new South Park, but I have, and I'm
a little behind on it, admittedly.
Every episode. Pretty fantastic season 28. I had a great Halloween. Son got a lot of candy, and that gave me a lot of choice on candy to eat. So big W's in my life right now.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, if fair is fair, of course, and we are no more fair than fair to the fairest of the fair, Mrs. H. Marie. Lady, how are you tonight? Oh, do you want to scream it over here?
I'm fine, I have no audio.
That's right. She can't talk anymore. Anyway, technology is a pain in the ass. So I guess she'll just, you know what? She'll just type her comments.
We were able to get that audio for H. Marie's family that they've been asking for the last 6 months.
Yeah, we need to get her a real headset so she can really participate, because I know she wants to. It's just yeah. All right, to the show. Here we go. Rumor control. This is rumor control. Here are all the facts, except that these aren't facts. These are rumors that we're going to dive into. The short version is that apparently Secret Hideout did not have any confidence in Michelle Yeoh being a good addition to Star Trek. Now, if you don't know who Michelle Yeoh is, she is an Academy Award winner for a movie that also won Academy Award for Best Picture. Oh, that doesn't qualify for being good at Star Trek. Well, I mean, fair is fair. She didn't have those awards quite yet before starting on Star Trek. But I'm going to be honest. Say what you will about Star Trek Discovery. It is trash. But her performance as Captain Georgiou, and I would say even the Empress Georgiou, were pretty good and believable as two separate people. So whether you
let's also say for the record that she is a quality actress in other roles.
Right? Exactly. So this is fascinating to hear about that this could even be a rumor. Now, of course, this rumor comes to us from Reddit.com, which is like one of the worst sources for rumors. So this could be legitimate. It could also be really good fan fiction. We at the Writer Brothers are not the only time we're journalists is when we say we're doing journalism. So if we're giving you facts, that's when we're talking facts. When we're giving you rumors, this is us giving you rumors. Pretty good on the answer yes be yes, let your no be no concept. So yes, this is the rumor zone. This could just be some incredible fan fiction. We don't know. But we do enjoy a good Hollywood gossip around this channel because, well, it either drives us to better content and better things, or we just get to be along for the dumpster fire along the way. And I don't know about you guys, but I've had a lot of fun with
the crazy thing is, like, in most cases, if you're like asking about gossip about like how do people feel about a war maneuver, that's kind of irrelevant. But like when you're asking people gossip about like how do you feel about a movie or how do you feel about like your role in a movie, that actually defines if they do another movie, because like it is the same as like a job review as much as it is a review of the product, as much as it is a review of the team. And I think that's where like a lot of people, like, rumors don't work in a lot of cases, but in Hollywood they can make or break a lot of cases. So it's like paying attention to the rumor mill is not so much about the fact that like we believe this is her sentiment. It's more like the fact that they're talking about this sentiment means finally they're accepting that Discovery may or may not have bombed.
Yeah, like I spent a fair bit of time trying to nail down this rumor and find specific quotes that we could use to confirm this, or even just, heavily imply it. And let's be honest, this is coming out months after Section 31, the Section 31 movie plagued us all. And so I could
not.
Right. But what I'm saying, my point is somebody could be playing like I predicted this was bad all along kind of thing, and you have no way to prove otherwise.
Yeah.
So, there might be a bit of a hindsight thing here, but if accurate, this does raise some interesting questions, because it starts to paint a picture on where the really bad stuff from Trek is coming from. And that in this case, it would be, that would be the executive producers basically of the project being, no, we're going to greenlight this because it feels better in our agenda, right?
Yeah. Griefing DBK says, she's a great actress, but now I can't stand to watch her because it brings to mind how much I hated Kurtzman Trek. Brother, time eventually heals most wounds. You will be able to enjoy her past works and future works once more, but take all the time you need to wait, because we've got one last insult to injury from Kurtzman Trek, and that is of course Star Trek Discovery Season 6, Starfleet Academy. So with that coming up, that's why we also are going to dive into this. Let's see what's going on. All right, rumors. Jamie Rixham. An insider revealed a shocking reality that everyone at Secret Hideout knew, that Michelle Yeoh's movie Star Trek Section 31 was going to be bad. Duh. Not even, like, you can't even call it fan fiction, because there's plenty of fan fiction you could literally have just ripped off that would have been a better project to do than that thing. One writer said, we need to scrap this and rework the script from the start. Oh, that right there was the guy. That's the guy who deserves not only the raise, that's the showrunner now. That's the guy who deserves to be promoted and in charge of their own show and movie. Because that was correct. I haven't even watched this movie and I know that. And executive producers wouldn't let them. All right, here we go. Let's, oh boy, this one's going to be a bit of a paragraph. So, yeah, bear with me. Literally, if you want to, it's up to you. You're at home. We like to think that this is home. Make yourself at home. You'll know that after a video I did a little while ago, somebody that has written for Kurtzman Trek reached out to me and basically said there's been lots of problems and arguments over at Secret Hideout for quite a long time. Oh, we know. They have writers come and go because of the frustration of working with Alex Kurtzman. I don't know if I'd really call that working. And other executives over at Secret Hideout, because a lot of the time either their storylines are just not what they want to do and they're pushed by executives to go a certain way, or that they have sometimes writers that, look, don't want to do a certain storyline because it breaks canon or doesn't make sense. Okay, real quick, any of you writers out there that if any of this is true and applies to you, thank you for standing your ground. Sorry that, you didn't have enough of an influence to stop these horrible things from happening, but it is better to lose an opportunity on principle than to write something you absolutely abhor and hate in the end. It's just, I don't know how Kurtzman has this much influence to stick around this long, and how we don't have Star Trek Legacy is incredible, but yeah. Fresh the throat there and continue on. Let's see. These are fans of Star Trek, and they're basically told not to worry about it by executives and Kurtzman. And he's the boss, and that's why we've seen some of the storylines we have. That there is this ideology of genre-bending sci-fi that is forced on writers a lot of the time, even when they don't want to. This writer, though, has said that disagreement and negativity within the business was never more serious than when they were preparing for Section 31. Now, the person I'm speaking to did not do any work on Section 31, the movie that we saw, but apparently may have been involved when it was at the stage of doing a series or could have been involved. There was discussions, etc., between many writers over at Secret Hideout when they were preparing to do a series. Now, this was after Michelle Yeoh had left Discovery. The plan was that Section 31 was supposed to be sort of the next series to follow on from Picard, but obviously that didn't happen, thankfully. Michelle Yeoh then got an Oscar. She then got things like Avatar and a bunch of other projects signed on, and basically her time just disappeared. Now we know from our leaks that it was Michelle Yeoh that decided she would do the movie and pushed for it. She wanted to say goodbye to this character even though she didn't really have time. Kurtzman desperately wanted to do it because it's Oscar-winner Michelle Yeoh. So they basically forced the project. They went from a series to a mini-series over a few months, discussions with Michelle Yeoh, and then they realized even that wasn't going to happen. So they boiled it down to the movie that we got when we got it. Problem was, they didn't really have time to rework the scripts they had, and I've been told by more than one source that they just sort of did it on the fly. That they just basically took 4 scripts that were supposed to be 5 scripts that were supposed to be a 5-part series and burned it down to a 4.5-hour movie. Or burn it down to an 1.5-hour movie. Now we also know that producers over at Paramount put a load of restrictions on the project that made it even harder. For one, they told them that it had to be 90 minutes and no more, which makes no sense at all. Why not just do a 2-hour movie? What was the budget? Why? You could have said, don't spend more than $30 million. Damn it. But don't spend $30 million and don't make it more than 90 minutes. Make the project as long as it needs to be. But anyway, those are the restrictions that Paramount put on them back before Skydance or the owners. So that made it harder. Alright, whoever wrote this, learn to write better. What the writer, though, is telling me here is that they're aware, talking to their colleagues that there were loads and loads of arguments between the writers and executive producers, etc., about how to make this work. The writers said, "We need to scrap this and rework the script from the start," and executive producers wouldn't let them. They basically said, "We have a storyline, it's been agreed with the studio, we just have to boil it down into a coherent movie." And it sounds like they failed with that. I happen to know that, again, talking to the person I'm speaking to, that they had direct contact with the people that then worked on the movie, and that the frustration was there from day one, that they were basically saying, "Look, we don't have time to do this. We don't have time to film it. We're not allowed to adjust the script once filming does start," which we would want to do. That's what used to happen in the past. Writers were on set. If something didn't work, the director would go, "Get the writers in, let's fix this." Now that didn't happen. They had to have a script. It had to be agreed by Secret Hideout executives and bosses, and then it had to be agreed to by Paramount before filming started. Okay, then gee, Curtsy Boy, why didn't you just take the time and write it all yourself? Oh man, this is like the Magnificent Three in Futurama all over again.
Mm-hmm.
That basically means that a script should have to be taken a few months to complete, with back and forth between the studio and Secret Hideout, and the writers ended up having to be done in weeks, and there was no back and forth. They did it, it was sent, it was signed off, they carried on filming. That was basically how this worked. The writer that I'm speaking to says that is never ever how it's done, particularly not for a movie, which is, what this is hailed as.
Yeah, for the record, for anyone who's done writing, there is an editing process where things go back and forth between principal stakeholders again and again and again until everything's agreed to.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about any of this is confirmed true? I mean, what do we have to...
Okay, so here's what I can give you. There was a writer who I'm not going to name because I want to protect their privacy a little bit, who was on the initial project but was let go, which to me makes the most sense as the leaker. Okay. So I was able to confirm sort of that there's a logical person to be the leaker. I did a dive on the executive producers involved. Okay. Our list of EPs is Michelle Yeoh, Eugene Roddenberry, Trevor Roth, Alex Kurtzman, Craig Sweeney, and a couple of others which I don't think are really that involved. Okay. And that's Olatunde Osamuni, Aaron Bayers, Frank Scarusa, and John Weber. None of them look particularly active in terms of progressive politics or what have you. Michelle Yeoh is, and Eugene Roddenberry are. So Michelle Yeoh being involved and not wanting changes in the script don't make a lot of sense. She's been a professional in the industry for a long time. She knows how it works.
Yeah.
Eugene Roddenberry, however, makes me stop and think for a few minutes. He's never been the capable individual that his father was. Okay? I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but he is not on that same track in terms of life. And he is very, very politically active. And in that progressive politics zone. So it makes me wonder if Discovery, because he's also on the executive producer board for Discovery, might be Rod Roddenberry's doing overall. The next two obvious candidates are Trevor Roth. He's got less personally political, but as Roddenberry Entertainment COO, he regularly speaks in interviews about Trek's social ideas, equality, inclusion, alongside Rod, Eugene, and the public alignment with those efforts. The other one that, of course, obviously comes up is Alex Kurtzman.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Kurtzman may have been pushing to get this absolutely out the window and just get it done. And that tracks for his kind of general behavior, that he was more interested in just the money side of the equation. And this was the fastest way to get the money. So, I don't know, right?
I mean, it's...
My money, honestly, is on Eugene Roddenberry, right?
Yeah.
Like, that, to me, is probably where our problem lies.
Probably.
But I could be wrong, and I'm freely admitting I could be wrong.
Craving DBK says, "What even is a miniseries today? 3 episodes, something like that." I know the Battlestar Galactica miniseries that launched the full series was like 4 episodes, and we've basically decided that officially that anything less than 15 episodes is a mini season. So Star Trek Strange New Worlds, for example, has 3 mini seasons so far. It will be a 5 mini season. Freaking last season is 6 episodes. So even like minier season.
Mm-hmm.
Mini series season.
The miniest season?
Yeah. No. Again, sorry to give credit to Star Trek Discovery, but it did have at least like 14 episodes in its first and second season, and that was kind of nice, but except for the fact that the show sucked. So yeah. All right, back to the news. This one coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter. TIFCOM, Japan's anime industry, expanded 15% to $25 billion in 2024. Congratulations. Well done. Well earned. Without a doubt. This was just more of an inevitability than...
That's it.
You know, it wasn't like it was not going to happen, but it did have a surge recently. I think the virus of unspecified origin had a big help with that. So we're going to read what the article says. Japan's animation industry surged 14.8% to reach record revenues of $25 billion. That's 3.8 trillion for those who keep track in the yen. In 2024, the most of the growth driven by the expanding international popularity of Japan's favorite art form. The results were released this week by the Association of Japanese Animations, which presented a preview of its annual Anime Industry Report 2025 at the TIFCOM Content Market held alongside the Tokyo International Film Festival. Reports showed what a global business anime has become with overseas revenue. Of course, okay, this is a part, of course, that scares the piss out of me. What a global business anime has become. So, brace yourselves. More waves of crap are probably coming. Crapshoot, corporate, AI-driven, frickin' anime shit's probably coming down the sludge, because if there's anything corporations see is when there's dollar signs, oh, it's a gold mine, we gotta get in on this. How do we make all the money? So, announcing right now, coming to you, we are going to be doing the first ever live AI animated anime show. We're replacing the podcast, we're rebranding it, and instead of us just, you know, angry old guys screaming at microphones, we're going to be replaced with anime caricatures, and then we're also going to be like fighting and stuff on the side. It's a way to attract all the Zoomers. No?
I mean, I have my reservations, I suppose.
Table for 8. Terrific DBK says, that's what's so hard on today's writers. They have to squeeze all the plot and character development of a 2-hour movie into a 9-episode mini-season. Yep, exactly.
I mean, I do have what our female protagonist for this series would look like in real life, if you guys want to see.
Oh, what?
For the series you've just announced,
Yeah.
I can show you what the main female protagonist would look like without, like just au naturel, without all the makeup and special effects.
Yeah.
Should we put it up?
Oh, that's I'm coming through on your screen. All right, that's yes, please. I just got 1,000% more excited for this series. Yeah.
I mean, what else could you say?
Regretting You cedes Weekend Crown to Black Phone 2, but it's a Halloween. What? What are these movies? I don't recall. Did anybody...
Well, see, this is the point. This box office week, Halloween weekend is normally really active at the box office with a bunch of decent horror movies coming out and a bunch of other, ancillary Halloween themed movies. That didn't happen this year. Everybody left room because people, for some reason, thought Tron Ares was going to explode. But it didn't. And because of that...
It bombed. No.
Well, yeah.
It's a bomb. No. It sucks.
It's a brick that got dropped from the back of a B-52.
Or a penny from the Empire State, boy.
That's it.
Oh, hey, by the way, I wanted to say congratulations to your Blue Jays on a commanding second place victory.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? You guys are the second.
That was
America,
a hell of a.
So.
That was a hell of a Game 7, though.
No,
I
picked a bad year to not give a crap about the World Series. Holy shit! I was like, because H. Marie, the lovely H. Marie, she said, "Oh yeah, Toronto," or no, she said the Blue Jays, and I'm like, the Blue Jay, Canada. That's the Canada team. They suck.
Yeah, well,
I mean, they did. A lot of years of sucking to finally
they did until they suddenly didn't
to the World Series. Yeah. And so, yeah, congratulations. Like, honestly, that in of itself, a non-American team, okay, yes, it would have been amazing if you guys won, and I would have been, sad, and the channel would be decked out in Canadian colors. But even still, that's like one of those moments where you lose, but you're like, yeah, we got here.
That's it, man.
Not only did you get here, you went to Game 7 overtime. Like, it was
not even just Game 7 overtime. We set a record in this series set a record for the longest game in the history of the World Series. There was an 18-inning Game 2, I think it was.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy, right?
It was insane, but what an amazing thing to be a part of it. And that's why we kind of need to add a sports section to this show, at least once a month.
And here's what I will say. Both teams fought like hell, and I'm, proud of my team, but I do wish that a couple of calls had gone our way.
Fair enough. All right. Good or bad idea? Should they get off my screen? Should they bring back the X-Files? And yeah, I'm not touching that. Got enough copyright infringement on this channel over the last 3 years that I'm trying to shed off.
Okay, so in my opinion, I think yes, it is time to reboot the X-Files.
What?
Normally, I'm not a reboot person, but this is one of the 3 series that I do actually think at this time is a good time to do a reboot of it. Okay. The congressional events that have been happening where they've actually been looking into UAPs and whatnot has shown that there is still significant interest in this kind of thing. The Monster of the Week format would be lovely to get back. And I think, right? And I think there are younger actors now that could do justice to these characters. I'll give you an example. Babylon 5 is one I don't want to see a remake of because the Andreas Katselas and the guy who played Londo were just so iconic in the roles. There's nobody that's ever going to be able to compete with those. But both of these actors, like, Mulder and the actors who play Mulder and Scully, are very generic. And it became very much more about the character than the specific actor. So I think you could reboot this with new younger actors playing, very, very similar mental kind of state roles, and it would work. So I think this is actually a solid possibility. I'm usually not a big fan of rebooting series that, were successful, but I think this is the right time if you're going to reboot it to reboot it. It's just got to get done fast.
All right. Well, anybody, please leave us a remark in the comments, whether you leave it in the chat after the fact or right now live on the show, whether you think we should bring back the X-Files. All right. Tokyo, Yoji Yamada and Lee Sang-il talk Japanese cinema, craft, and following anime's global success. So back to what we were talking about earlier. Two generational talents of Japanese cinema shared the stage to discuss each other's work at Tokyo International Film Festival, where each has been celebrated with an award. Yoji Yamada, 91, has more than 90 directing fucking balls, dude!
Yup.
I'm 1 year old, I direct picture now. I mean, I'm only making fun of him because I'm envious. That's incredible.
That's it, man. Your jealousy is showing pretty hard there.
Fucking hell. That's all it is. It's not meant to do. Cheers, man. It's life well lived. 90 directing credits to his name, while Lee Sang-il's Koku is the biggest Japanese live-action box office hit in decades, having passed 16 billion yen. Oh, hold on 1 second. The X-Files already had 2 features and 2 revival seasons. I'm ready to let it go, says Griffin DBK. All right, fair enough.
That's fair. Yep.
So we know we have one in favor of watching the new X-Files, one who will not probably show up. All good. Biggest Japanese live action, 16 billion yen. That's 105 million in the US dollars. And is Japan's entry for the Best International Film Oscar. Shit, this sounds like Godzilla -1 all over again. Mutual respect was more than evident, and the conversation flowed through analysis of their craft to gentle teasing, mostly from Yamada at the standing room only event. Wow. This is like Spielberg and Nolan.
Yeah, sitting down and having a public discussion on the future of film.
There's a movie that needs to happen.
Right? Like, these are two absolute titans of Japanese cinema, and they're getting the opportunity to talk about their work and their projects and where they see the industry going. And the truth of the matter is, with anime taking bigger and bigger bites of American cinema and American box offices, these are going to be some of the things to watch for. We're going to be seeing more cultural films coming out of Japan. And these guys are talking about how to make, Japanese style films, but for a global audience.
Shifting back real quick to the X-Files, DBK says, and I was the biggest fan during the original run, by the way. Well, good to know, because in about a year or so, I don't know, we'll see where we're at. Because, coming up next week, we're going back to Deep Space Nine. And then after we do Deep Space Nine, we're going to do Babylon 5. And after we do Babylon 5, maybe we should do some classic X-Files. Because if we have if we have a huge fan in our orbit, we should probably, get him into the studio and get him riding shotgun while he rewatches some of his favorite moments and least favorite moments. And then, it goes down, and then DBK says DS9 is peak Trek. Yes. Correct. And I know. With the original series. Okay. Yes. but that's like that's kind of like, you know, the way we say that the Beatles, you know, really revolutionized the way modern rock and roll and marketing was changed forever. Okay, yes, they're really great for a lot of the songs that they did, but like if you compare them to somebody like U2 or Electric Light Orchestra, you're starting to compare two different eras of music. Okay, and then you've also got Elvis and all the other origins of rock and roll bands that are out there too. So yes, the original series is wholly Star Trek. Just like the original X-Files will never be truly properly replaced by something succeeding. But Deep Space Nine is the Star Trek that was able to show us, okay, here is how the people living in the sticks can make it to Roddenberry's utopia. And that's what I felt that DS9 was showing, was like, you know, here's the impoverished society of the Bajorans, here is the Federation on the edge of frontier frickin' space, and everything is hard all the time, and yet we still have to believe in the values of the Federation, and this is how we, you know, Sisko's leading the charge in doing that. And so that's what I feel, is that it was like, instead of, you know, oh, you know, TNJ and TOS, such great Star Treks, and yeah,
like, yes, they
we
were.
want to get to that, and we want to get to that, but how? DS9. Yep. Enterprise actually was also another proper deconstruction that didn't get enough time to breathe, but it also took too many risks and creative liberties. We'll get more on that later. So yeah, TOS to DS9 is a Sid Barrett Pink Floyd to Roger Waters plus David Gilmour Pink Floyd. Good analogy, man. Excellent analogy. You're in the right home, bro. So yeah, we might just have to actually take a peek at the X-Files, because like you said, Corey, on the relevance of it with all these congressional hearings about UFOs and everything, it's probably time to take a look.
Yeah.
All right. Keanu Reeves and Tim Miller are teaming up for a unique sci-fi movie, Shiver. Warner Bros. Is in final negotiations to acquire Shiver, a unique sci-fi package that has Keanu Reeves attached to star and Deadpool helmer Tim Miller to direct. Well, some good signs on that horizon. Matthew Vaughn, the filmmaker behind the Kingsman action movie franchise, will produce via his Marv Films banner, along with Aaron Ryder, who counts Love Story, All of You, and GameStop movie Dumb Money among his recent credits. Ian Shore wrote the script for Shiver, which has been described as having shades of Edge of Tomorrow, the Tom Cruise sci-fi movie that about a soldier trapped in the time-looping alien invasion, and The Shallows, the Blake Lively shark survival movie. It's a fascinating combination to draw from.
Yeah.
All right, John, what are your thoughts?
Dude, it's Keanu Reeves. I'm super in.
John, bro. Right there.
Well, more than anything, like, look at the amount of effort Keanu puts into any of his films. Like, as long as he's got a solid writer behind him, which seems like he does, this one seems like a home run if nobody gets in the way, which we'll see what the studio heads say. Because if they swap out Keanu for somebody else because they're trying to do something special, it's like, that's when you lost me. Keanu, I have faith in. A lot of other people I don't.
I mean, Tim Miller, though, the Deadpool guy.
Yeah, I love Tim Miller. Like, Deadpool, hands down, one of the more surprisingly quality action films that stands up alongside all of the superhero films while also being a harsh divergence from superhero norms. So, like, as long as the team doesn't change.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Fair enough.
It's an interesting idea for a new series at any rate.
Star Wars: A New Hope is coming to the IMAX for its 50th anniversary. That will be, of course, in 2027. So we've got a couple more years to survive to get to that one.
That being said, it'll be nice to see it on the big screen again.
Yes, it will. Don, do you remember when we went to see Star Wars on the big screen for its 30th anniversary? Or was it 40th? It was 40th. No. 30th.
Yeah, dude.
20th.
I remember
20th.
being 1 year. No, it would have been 97. Yeah, I think it was. I was surprisingly old enough to be okay to watch it. But that's also because I wasn't the only kid with a lightsaber at the bottom of the theater fighting his older brothers.
Oh,
like,
man.
I wasn't even like number 20. I was probably not even the youngest kid in there at the time.
No, you weren't. And I was like all insistent that you were too young to go, but then...
Yeah.
You guys
I did
figured
the
it
same
out.
thing to my son for number 3, Revenge of the Sith. He was too young to actually fully enjoy it, but he tried.
Oh yeah, no, that Revenge of the Sith was a lot of fun to go with Hannah, and to just sit there and watch a Star Wars film that still holds up to this day. I was thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yep. Look, I mean, I remember when the special editions came out, and I remember going into the theater to watch them with a bunch of friends. And you know what? These movies are great because of their timelessness. And I hope a new generation gets to experience them too.
Me too. All right.
You know, just don't let them see the sequels, cause like the sequel trilogy, because
There is no sequel trilogy. Shinsuke Sato on the success of Netflix's Alice in Boarderland returning to films. Shinsuke Sato has given a significant portion... Hold on, we got a comment. Top Hat J says, alright, either you'll be able to count pores on Guinness's face, or George adds in some special edition critters around the edges. I remember seeing Star Wars in the theater at least 25 times before it even said Episode 4, A New Hope in the crawl.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that was... I only got to see that on the what did they call that? The VHS tapes. John, do you remember that? The tapes that... Remember VHS? Remember when our uncle was so proud of his VCR? He had a rewinder, ladies.
Ooh.
Not to startle you too much and force those panties to the ground, but I mean, yeah, a VCR rewinder. All right, Shinsuke Sato has given a significant portion of his professional career to the Netflix Japan sci-fi series Alice in Boarderland, a situation that is no mean feat given how prolific the Japanese filmmaker has been in recent years, regularly releasing... We got another comment in this section. But I was a mere child at the time. Ah, okay. Releasing 1 or perhaps 2 feature films a year. Now running for 3 seasons after the launch of the 3rd chapter of Alice in Boarderland in late September, Sato's passion project has garnered him international notoriety, with the series by far and away the most successful Japanese original project from Netflix. Season 3 of Alice in Boarderland has continued the franchise's hot streak, and since launch, it spent 3 weeks in Netflix's coveted global top 10. Ooh, okay, congratulations. We may have to actually watch this crap.
It's actually a pretty good series.
Oh, well,
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Of course you both have. I'm listening.
So, John, why don't you give him the rundown?
No, you got this one. I got a loud dog.
All right, I am sold on not watching it. Congratulations. Moving on. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's actually pretty solid. I mean, I've enjoyed it. You know, let me see if I can give you a more professional summary. Just give me 1 second.
So, yeah, we will also be touching...
Okay, here's the non-professional TLDR summary. Super nerdy gamer. Dad walks in, says, "Are you doctor yet?" He says, "No." Kid gets teleported to a completely different world. Now he is Alice in Wonderland, except Wonderland is like Free Guy.
Yeah,
it's human.
Top Hat J in the chat says 3
it
guys
kind of
just
feels...
said "I don't know" in fun, creative ways. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Well, no, the I'm trying to figure out how to explain it, because it's kind of like a cross between like one of the isekai animes and like a Sword Art Online almost, in my opinion.
Has not been defined yet. That's what makes it so fun.
That's
like, legitimately, this kid goes to sleep and wakes up, but doesn't remember going to sleep and didn't sign any papers to join the Squid Game, but he's in the most intense battle simulator ever and has no idea what the rules are. And so, like, the whole series has been like, we're watching him learn the rules with other people that have been there longer that know different rules. And so, like, it's this whole combination of what are the rules. At the same time, lots of people die all the time.
Oh my goodness, yes. Like I said, it's a hard one to explain because they haven't given us. They've kind of mystery boxed us a fair bit, but they're providing their rules of the world. They just haven't explained why the world directly exists.
Well, I might have to give it a shot then. Let's see. All right, this concludes tonight's entertainment briefing portion. We are now going to shift gears, old school style, now to our review portion of this show. So, Top Hat J says, I'm running an earlier patch, Halo and Wings and Epic Guitars.
All right.
That's a good one. All right. If you have not watched Star Wars Visions yet, you hate or just don't really particularly like the Star Wars sequels, you are depriving yourself of something almost entirely wonderful. Now, it's not without its cringe elements, but to be perfectly honest, even the most cringy episode in Visions Volume 1 was not anything worse than, like, Star Wars Episode 6. So, it's still better in its entirety than the entire sequel trilogy. Solo.
Dude, I'm going to be honest.
One. I would say that as far as good Star Wars goes, it's up there with Andor. But go ahead, John.
I would say not that episode, dude. Tatooine Rockstars is terrible. I am totally proud of them.
All right. Thank you. Hold on. Thank you for reminding me. I actually did not watch that episode for the simple fact that okay, first of all, the premise, stupid. Like, I could not get on board with the freaking failed Padawan Jedi turned Rockstar. All right, that was already a suppository to have to swallow mouth first. But we get into it, and now we have the cartoon incarnation of the Book of Boba Fett. Couldn't do it.
Well, I would say the best part about Star Wars Visions and our earlier article that we read about the Japanese anime industry, it's like, Star Wars Visions is exactly why they are worth as much as they are worth, because they came to Star Wars to
from
follow
agreeing
the
so
rules
hard
and ethos of Star Wars, and then nailed it every episode except for Tatooine Rock Band.
And even then, like,
that
and look,
I watched it twice because I forgot it existed.
Right, and hear me out on this.
I couldn't even watch it once, so that's more than me.
So, I want to give a little bit of background information for those who have not seen the inside baseball of what Visions really is. Star Wars Visions was initially put together as an idea of, we want to get a Star Wars anime together, and we want to take auditions from all the different film studios that would be like the Japanese studios that would be seriously interested in doing this. Also, in some of the French ones in the season 2, but we want to give them the opportunity to effectively audition for doing a Star Wars anime. And they figured the best way to do this was to reach out to all the different anime studios out there and say, give us your vision of Star Wars. What is critical to you? What makes it, fascinating? And each one of them, in their own way, did that. Okay? Yes, there were some that did not slap like we would have wanted to, like the Tatooine Rock Band one. Okay? But let's be fair and say that, hey man, all of them put forward some really high quality animation. All of them put forward their vision for how this works.
But here's the even better part, and this is kind of a spoiler for next week. Season 2 learned Tatooine Rock Band didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And Season 3 learned everything from Seasons 1 and 2.
That's it.
Fire. Like, straight fire in every single sense of the word. Like, and to me, it's the funniest thing because when we started this whole podcast, one of the things I recommended for, like, what would I tell a studio to do if I was ever in charge? It's exactly this. Challenge people that are already good to try better. So that if anything, now you can go, look, now I've got an internal competition of what good looks like. But like what they've done with Visions, even on the onset, it was an awesome idea. Because like, it's like my favorite is the Duel. And then Duel Part 2 in Season 3. But the way that the Duel is this storyboard animation, you could 100% watch any. You could see that being Qui-Gon Jinn. For some reason, now he has a red lightsaber. Because, like, everything I've learned about Star Wars over the last 20, 30 years now at this point, it's like there is a ton of Asian references. And if you looked at the storyboards from those like early days of original Star Wars, he was literally copying and pasting from The Last Fortress. So for that to then be like animated and depicted and it have nothing to do with any of the other stories, but to fully grasp and demonstrate an understanding of good versus evil, regardless of the color of your lightsaber, in black and white.
So
I felt like I was watching that Clone Wars series where Mace Windu went just ape on the droids. Like
some of the best 5 minutes in Star Wars animation. That one right there. Yeah. Thank you, John. What an awesome thing to say, because that is a perfect springboard for me into my. So I had only watched The Duel when the Visions first came out. And I was just, like, at the time, wasn't getting any better than that. So I got to watch it twice before getting into the rest of them, and to be perfectly honest, I don't stand by what I say in the sense that the others, except for Tatooine Rock Band crap. That one, yeah, I forgot that existed because I didn't even watch it. So yeah, what I did love about watching this one, so first of all, I liked how the lightsaber parasail was an accessory, an enhancement, not a full-on like practical weapon. It was just a little extra tool that could be used and removed, and the sword could function like a sword. So that is
it demonstrated the mirrors. Like, lightsabers have messed with mirrors a little bit throughout the time, and people have used, like, bouncing armor. So imagine you're using something like Beskar to create a refraction of the Kyber crystal. Like, that's what any, like, smart person would do. So, like, and yeah, it's an attachment that looks like a deviation, which is exactly what the Sith are.
The amount of, you sit there and you go, well, this isn't canon, but you also take a look and you go, yeah, but in a weird way, it does make sense, right?
Is it though? I mean,
and like that is the best way to do this work, right?
That was the first double-headed lightsaber since Darth Maul.
Yeah,
and it was perfect. There was no need to explain why she picked that. That was such a scary attachment.
So aside
and then for her to switch back to a standard saber when fighting an actual saber, it's like, oh wow, like that's Darth Maul logic, and I don't care that suddenly she's got a double.
Right. Yeah. No. So aside from Tatooine Rock Band crap, the others were also good. I can see why Ninth Jedi is getting its own show.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I hope that more of these other ones can. And I'm excited to check out Volume 2 and Volume 3 because, man, I cannot.
The Jedi droid. What did you guys feel about that? B10 or B?
Oh,
boys?
Toby.
TOB1.
Yeah.
TOB1. You know what?
I loved it. I thought it was so corny, but it was in line with, like, imagine if the droid was made with a kyber crystal.
It was not a departure from what Star Wars is. It was a very... It managed to call back to the... what are those? The Indoor Safari Ewok movies? I would
go with... It was literally the Star Wars Alita Battle Angel. Like, theoretically, Toby is the brain of a child.
That's pretty good.
And I'm fine with that. I don't care because it felt so sweet, but so perfectly Star Wars. And then for, like, him to be, what's his name? The shooty guy with the bolster arm. Like, that's what I mean by the animation and the visuals didn't matter. It was the rules that mattered. Like, you can make this as corny as Studio Ghibli or as Etch-a-Sketch as the Duel, and it's still Star Wars following.
There is a Visions that feels very Ghibli.
Give me 30 episodes of The Duel, I'm there. Give me 30 episodes of Star Wars Ghibli, I'm there.
Yeah.
Give me 30 episodes of Tatooine Rock Band, go fuck yourself. I cannot.
Unless you're, like, actually getting John Williams AI to produce new Star Wars music.
Good point. Where the hell is
like the Cantina is still a banger, dude. Dun 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 dun. What is that? Same song.
Yeah,
same song.
Give me that song, but like shredded on a freaking metal guitar.
Well, no, that's where it gets really cool. Is with all this AI stuff and IP holders, like you can do Rock Band and then you can do covers and you can have it all on the same controller and it be an update rather than it be this like 10 like step process to maybe getting one song from AC/DC on your Rock Band and 12 songs from the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, I feel like more than anything the people that have the IP are willing to do some things, and Vision is proof of that, but they're not actually like jumping in on and like profiting on it. It really feels like they're just going, meh, we might get into this. We kind of like paying for good quality content, but the main thing is we're just gonna go release the sequel trilogy. We're gonna release Book of Boba Fett. Like Visions came out during the Acolyte. Season 2 came out with Acolyte Season 1 halfway through, and I watched every episode of Season 2. I did not finish the Acolyte.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah, and I mean, season what is it? There's one coming up that I'm really looking forward to as well. And we're gonna get to it in season 3, but there's a bunch that we're getting soon that's gonna be absolutely kick ass. And they keep getting better. Like that's the scary thing. I'm shocked at how good they eventually, like how polished the series comes together. And yeah, some feel like Ghibli, some feel like freaking Gaiamax, right? But all of them
feel like the Star Wars anime we've been waiting for, and finally we get. Yeah, this is the Star Wars we've been looking for.
Right? I mean, like, even the one that I gotta say I think deviates the most from Star Wars, where the girl's X-wing kind of transforms into body armor around her, right? I mean,
that's not an X-wing. That was her droid, which it's like
or the droid, yeah. But like,
why wouldn't Iron Man be real? Like, I get in George Lucas's time, Iron Man was 100% theoretical, but now that we've seen Iron Man 7 movies,
well, I'm just saying,
Star
like,
Wars
it doesn't
kind
fit.
of has to.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is, it doesn't fit into the standard aesthetic. but it was really good, right? Like it's like I could see this coming from one of the sectors of the galaxy that we have not yet seen.
Right.
Dude,
Exactly.
I can see this coming from a poor planet where like the rich actually have Iron Man money and Iron Man armor money.
Right. But that's what made Skeleton Crew so special, was the fact that we had a planet that was disconnected from the rest of the galaxy for a while and only had these crazy lore and legend myths of the Jedi. And it looked very similar to, suburban Earth life. Okay, maybe that was a little creative liberty in the end you don't agree with, but at the same time, Corione, you just nailed why Skeleton Crew, from a story perspective,
it works.
May have worked. We may have to come back to it in January. I'm not watching it through the holidays again. That's why it sucked. To be honest, I think the release schedule is why that show tanked. But we may have to do a re-review 1 year later. Was Skeleton Crew really all that good? I don't know. I don't remember. I remember it not being the worstest thing ever. But Star Wars Visions is some of the bestest Star Wars ever. And if you haven't watched Volume 1 yet, I'm giving it minus the 1 episode. So 8 of 9 episodes are just total bangers. I mean, if you're keeping track on Star Wars scale, that's pretty damn good.
And to be perfectly honest, I would suggest that even if it's your first watch through, watch the Rock Band episode. You may not like it, but there are some neat things that kind of come up in the episode that make it, while not ideal, still worthwhile.
Oh, dude, I'm going to be honest. I can see exactly who that was made for, and it's whoever loves K-pop, and my son's one of them.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't take away from Star Wars in any way. It didn't it didn't leave the rules behind. It didn't abandon anything. It was just a song about a bard, and I don't care.
Yeah. Like, if you're a K-pop Demon Hunters kind of person, you'll love that episode.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a Macross fan, you'll probably love that episode.
But that's the thing. The K-pop Demon Hunters, I had to hit certain vices hard to get through the songs. Like, but yes, from a plot perspective, and yes, we probably will review K-pop Demon Hunters at some point on this show, maybe before the end of the year, we'll see. Yeah. But we are getting back into...
If we do a review of that, I have a special guest I want to bring in.
Very well. We will talk about it in the off show. All right. I think we have reached the end of tonight's entertainment information intelligence podcast. I want to thank everybody for showing up. Top Hat J, Cripping DBK, all of you guys in the comments. That really helps, especially our lurkers, likers, subscribers. You guys help make us grow. And yes, we want to make channel grow. So please keep liking, subscribing, tell people, how can we make this, how can we make at TWB home feel more like home? Tell us in the comments and we'll try to do our best to abide. But yeah, guys, any last things to say before we cruise on out of here?
No, I think you covered it, man.
Okay. Yeah. I want to thank our sponsors, is what I'd say if we had any. Still working on that. If you guys aren't listening to Whale 99.5 when we're not on the air, you should totally listen to them, especially during the Hobie in the Afternoon experiment. Good, funny stuff. We like those guys a lot. So yeah. Join us next week. I might share some pictures from powerboat races if I get any good ones. And yes, DBK, we got to get you on the show sometime, maybe even as a part-time regular. I'm PD York. I'll see you next week. Bye.
This has been the Entertainment Information Intelligence Podcast from the Writer Brothers. The Writer Brothers, restoring respect into discourse. Good night.